Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. I'm your watch guy today. Today I'm reviewing the watch that probably turned out to be my favourite Microbrand release from last year. So VanBanner are a watch company from Canada. Now they are a Microbrand that are into about their third or fourth release now. And the one I'm reviewing today is the Parking Master 2.0 or the PM 2.0. Now unfortunately, as this comes out, these are out of stock, but they will be restocked mid-2022. And I advise each and every one of you to go and put your email down on the alert list because these are fantastic watches. And for the price that VanBanner are putting these out at, they're a steal. You need one of these in your collection. It's got just the right type of 80s vibe with just all the right things packed in. It's a fantastic release from them and they went in really strong with this one. So let me turn this camera around and let's get into this review. So guys, this is the VanBanner that myself and plenty of other reviewers have fell in love with over the last month or so. Now, as I mentioned, it does really have some lovely, I'd say 80s type of style into it with this body around the watch itself. The casing itself is very 80s. Now, obviously, I wasn't about in the 80s, so don't take that from me, but this is what I'd imagine an 80s type of style looking like, with almost this body of casing surrounding the inside of the watch itself. As you can see built up here, it's absolutely a fantastic looking watch. So let me talk to you about the specifications of this, or the dimensions. Firstly, we have a 41mm in diameter piece. It is 47.8mm lug to lug, 14.1mm thick, and that is including this domed sapphire crystal and case back. 20mm lugs on this one, although we do have an almost integrated style bracelet on this one. And here to here we have a measurement of 23.8mm on this first link outside here. Now it's 316L stainless steel, as you might expect. The body of the watch, the head of the watch, is fully brushed. We have some lineal brushing on the side here, which I'm not usually a fan of, but it kind of works on this watch. I don't know what it is, but it really does work on this piece. Again, on the other side, we also have a lineal brush, and we have a circular brushing on the upper side of the lugs. Now, this circular brushing is rather fine and well done. It almost leaves a matte type of effect to the watch, which I do really like on here. The crown is positioned between the 3 and 4 o'clock indices, which is rather unusual. However, I do think it does work. Again, it gives it a more unique type of style and a very original type of design. And I really do like that. Speaking of the crown, it is a screw down crown. We have a very nice level of grip on here. And the crown itself is signed PM for Parking Master with a really nice bold red colour on the head of the crown here. Very attractive feature to this watch, and it does flow with the rest of the splash of red throughout the watch itself. It's built with a Miyota 9 series movement, the 9039. Now, coming in at £391.50, I think that's an absolutely fantastic deal, and you are getting plenty for that money. As we move to the rear of this watch, you can see there is a display case back, but it's not our usual display case back. We have a VanBanner logo printed to the display case back here, and in the back there you can see that 9 series Miyota movement. We have the usual information printed to the display case back itself around the outer edge of the VanBanner logo, and the circular brushing around the screw down case back. Now you'll also be able to see there that we do have a curvature to the lugs. That makes it really nice to wear on wrist. Again, the wrist shot we will get to later on, but definitely a useful watch to wear. I really enjoyed it. The bezel is another unusual aspect of this watch. Now it's called the Parking Master. That is so named for timing your parking, which is a really unusual way to use your watch. I get that. But for the strange things that we actually have on watches nowadays, like tachymeters, anyone actually used a tachymeter before? I'll be surprised if 1 or 2 people maybe comment saying, yeah, I have. The rest of us, we just know that it looks nice. A dive bezel even. Many of us use a dive bezel. I have occasionally used one, but not so much that I'd be annoyed if my watch didn't have one. Now this one is a countdown bezel. You may know it better as a countdown bezel, but this parking bezel is actually quite unique for me. So let's say we've got 20 minutes on our parking. We'd align the 20 to the minute hand. Then let me just unscrew this for you, and I'll show you how this works. The 20 will tick down as the minutes go by, and then we have this lovely orange and red countdown towards the end, and there it is. And that's when your parking would be done. Now, obviously, this can be used for plenty of other purposes. Let's say cooking, timing a run, timing a workout. I mean, there's endless possibilities for a countdown timer. As mentioned, we have these lovely splashes of orange and red on the bezel itself. The markings throughout the bezel, the usual markings, are painted in white. This is a ceramic bezel insert, and it is loomed. Also, we have a really lovely feature with the loom on there that I will show you in the loom shot, and it really did sell this watch to me. I mean, I was already sold, I'll be honest, but that loom up there will surprise a lot of us. Now, talking of selling this watch to me, I've just remembered that I haven't let you guys know that this has been sent to me for free from VanBanner. I don't have to return it. However, they are still going to get an honest review. And if I know the gent at VanBanner well enough, I know that's exactly what he'd expect anyway, and that's why he sent it to me. And the other reviews that he has selected. The casing also has drilled lugs. Now, the drilled lugs are aided by the quick release spring bars in the bottom of this. Makes it really easy to change the band or bracelet on this one. However, I don't know why you'd want to, because this integrated style is really, really nice. I mean, it works for me, and I know a lot of people really do like this type of style, so I find it strange if we did start swapping the strap out on this. The casing is finished off with this really lovely dome sapphire. Now, a dome sapphire usually is a slight dome. You'll hear me say that quite a bit. I'll tell you that the sapphire is slightly domed, or we have a tabletop domed sapphire. Now this one itself is a bubble domed sapphire, by which I mean that it is very noticeable and very distorted at certain angles. It is a true dome sapphire to me. As I bend the watch here, you can see that the curvature of it really does play with that dial. It's a really nice effect. Together, the watch casing provides this piece with 200 meters of water resistance, and I think that is the right type of entry to be able to call this watch also a dive watch, because 200 meters is going to be capable of you taking this into the water. Now, none of us are going to go 200 meters under the water, but it will be sufficient for swimming and some leisurely activities in said water. Moving into the dial itself, now this is also a fantastic feature. Now, when I first received this watch, I didn't actually notice in the pictures that this was a feature on the dial, but on this white variant, it is a textured dial. It's almost like parchment paper to me. You know, when you have that really grainy type of paper, that really premium effect paper. And honestly, it just adds and adds to this watch. Every time I looked at it when I first received it, there was a new feature that I was thinking of, like, pointing out to myself. You know, when I receive a watch, I'm looking at it and thinking, right, what am I going to mention in the review? What am I going to point out? What am I going to criticize? And every time I looked at it, it was like, oh God, look at this. Oh, wow, look at that. I was like, you know what? This watch is just absolutely fantastic. Now, past that lovely texture of the dial, we have applied indices throughout, and the indices themselves are bold. They are thick, very, very legible. We have bold borders on them, a stainless steel effect border on the bold indices. They are all loomed, and I think that this is going to have good loom. I haven't actually tested it yet. I've only seen images, but I believe it's going to have a fantastic loom signature on it. Hopefully it doesn't also make me eat my words here. Around the outer edge of the dial, we have a printed minute track on that chapter ring, which again is a really nice feature and also aids with the legibility of the watch. Down at the 6 o'clock, we have the automatic print, 200 meters, and up at the 12 o'clock, we have the VanBanner logo printed in black. Again, very legible. Now, as we look past the dial itself, or rather in front of the dial itself, we have this really bold handset. Again, very legible. This entire watch really does do legibility perfectly for me. And I think that's one of the best features of it, to be honest. Now, the block-like handset has a slight taper towards the tips, and it is finished off by a red paddle style second hand. Now, they are all three loomed. We have a stainless steel border around the outer edge of the handset, which goes very well with the indices. Now, I promised a loom shot, didn't I? You know, I am actually kind of excited for this loom shot. I say kind of, I am very excited for this loom shot myself because I've seen the images. I just haven't seen it in person yet. I like to save loom shots for the review because I like to have an instant reaction to it. And I think this one's going to be one of the better ones. So, without further ado, let me turn the lights out and let's get into this loom shot. Here we have the loom shot. Now, the indices themselves are C3, I think, and then BGW9 on the handset and at 12 o'clock. It's a good mixture of loom. Now, the bezel is really the feature, isn't it? That orange and red loom is completely unlike anything that I've seen in the past, and it will aid with legibility in low light situations. I mean, maybe we're trekking through a car park facility, middle of the night, can't see what time it is, I'm wondering if our parking's ran out yet, and there we have it. That red and orange indicator would aid us there, wouldn't it? I mean, I think it's a real design feature, to be honest, and the loom itself is lasting very well. Very bright loom on the handset and 12 o'clock with a more dull blue loom on the rest of the watch itself, however, still very well lasting. So yeah, this one definitely gets a pass, and I mean, if we were giving out grades, this would definitely be an A, wouldn't it? It just adds something different that other watches really just don't. So well done, VanBanner. As we move past the loom of this watch, we move on to the bracelet, and it is a fully brushed bracelet. On this one, we have some really lovely angles which flow well with the casing on this end lug here. As I mentioned, these lugs are 20 millimeters. However, the bracelet itself is more like a 24 at the tip, and it tapers beautifully towards the clasp. Makes for a really, really nice wear, this one. Now, it's a flat style bracelet, and I am a big fan of that style of bracelet. Again, very 80s for me, very 80s type of styling. As we move to the clasp, we have a really bold VanBanner logo here. As you can see, I've already given it a little bit of desk diving duty. I've had this on quite a while last month and this month, to be fair. We have a milled clasp on this one, and I've really, really enjoyed it. Now, we have a good level of micro adjust, in fact, more than a good level. I think this is fantastic. 6 levels of micro adjust to get that perfect fit on your wrist. Now, I'm going to pop this on wrist for you to see how it looks on my 6.2 inch wrists, and then we can segue very nicely into the moan section. And the moan section is not going to be the most critical in the world. In fact, it is going to be the most critical in the world, because this is a fantastic watch at a fantastic price, and I've still found a couple of moans for you. So I think I have done really well being very objective with this watch. Fits like a glove. I think these curvatures to the lugs are just right for my size wrist, so I wouldn't advise this for any smaller wrists. I mean, it'll be wearable, but it won't be as comfortable. Now, any above, I think will be perfect. I love the brushing, the circular brushing around the outer edge of the watch body as it leads to this toothed bezel here. It's just, yeah, absolutely fantastic. I don't think I mentioned that this is a 120 click unidirectional bezel either. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I've been very excited about reviewing this watch. So I've kind of just thrown a lot of information at you in one sitting, but I could go on about this piece for hours. I really could. I could go on about how much I enjoy it too for hours. But that's not what you want to hear, is it? You want me to be objective. You want me to tell you the downsides also. Now, first downside I am going to mention is the consistency of the logo. I recently had a San Martin Seamaster homage in the 300, and I said that they needed to be consistent with their logo. They need to use the same logo throughout the watch itself. Fortunately, VanBanner haven't done that here either. As you can see on the clasp here, we have the VanBanner logo with this infinity sign in the center, which I really like. And again, on the case back there, you can see it's printed in red. However, on the dial itself, it's a different logo. I feel like that's a lack of consistency throughout the watch. Now, both logos are quite nice, so both would be perfectly suitable for me. However, I don't like the mixture of logos throughout the watch. Next downside is a part of this bracelet. We have two screw ends on this one. So double screw links. Now, it's not really a problem when you've fitted it. Once it's fitted like this, it's perfect. I'm probably never going to have to resize this watch ever again, unless I decide to take on some sort of McDonald's challenge. I think I'll be perfectly fine with this for as long as it sits in my collection. However, it is really, really niggly the first time that you do it. Now, VanBanner do actually have instructions in the box itself. I did show you that in the unboxing. And it does advise that you take it to a watchmaker or your local watchmaker to fit it. Now, I like to size my own watches, so it was kind of an annoyance for me because I had to do it with the double screws. They're just fiddly, really, really fiddly. And finally, this watch has an international warranty. However, it is only 1 year warranty. Now, I know that's not going to be a big deal for a lot of people. I mean, I haven't. I have literally never had to call in a warranty from a watchmaker from any watch that I have ever bought in my 28 years. It is nice to have that reassurance, and I always say 2 years is the benchmark for me. I think that's the right level to cover your product, and I think that's really what VanBanner should be offering. So those three moans, I'm going to be dead honest with you, are so picky for the quality of watch that you get in here. Completely, honestly, I wouldn't even make those. Like, if I'm talking to a person, like one of my mates, about this watch and what I think of it, I'm not even mentioning them. I'm not going to bring that up because it doesn't even come into the factor of this sub £400 watch and everything that it does for that price. So, VanBanner, take a bloody bow. In fact, VanBanner, take a bow, and remember, next model that you're producing, remember Jason the Watch Guy, please. So guys, that is the Parking Master 2 from VanBanner, and genuinely probably my favourite Microbrand watch that I reviewed from last year. I absolutely love this piece, and genuinely the amount that they've packed in for the price, sub £400 watch with a high beat Myota movement, an absolutely beautiful dome sapphire, a textured dial, an inventive Loom signature, that flat link brace. I could go, as I said, I could go on for hours about this watch, but I won't because I know that you guys have got things to do. So let me leave you with the information that you need if you need to pick up this watch. The VanBanner website is linked in the description. Now, they are out of stock at the moment. Does not shock me at all because they're fantastic watches. But you can sign up to an email alert to let you know when they're back in stock. They're expecting them middle of this year. Also, plenty of time to get your ducks in order if you wanted to buy one. Thank you for watching this video, guys. Thank you to VanBanner for sending this watch in. It's going to sit very pretty in my collection, and I am going to enjoy it for a long, long time. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.